Hello, I'm Helen from Journal with Purpose and welcome to my latest YouTube video. Today I'm going to be doing a lovely relaxed journaling session in my junk journal, and throughout I'm going to be using some gorgeous printables from Pink Monarch Prints. I was absolutely delighted when Alina and Anna contacted me from Pink Monarch Prints asking if I would like to use their August printable bundle in one of my videos. I've already bought printables from their shops in the past, and in fact a lot of the pages that are in this junk journal are already from Pink Monarch Prints. Lots of these are from their shop, so it's just absolutely wonderful for me to get a chance to use their newest kit today. These are ones that I've already been using of theirs. I also get lots of questions about how I'm consistent with my journaling, and one of the ways I do that is by trying to have a big kind of crafting or journaling session once a week, often at the weekends, where I sit down and get lots of my pages ready in advance. So I thought that might be useful for me to share with you today, how I set some of those pages up, do some decorated tags, put some little interactive elements in my junk journal, all while using this really gorgeous kit. I've also got some discount codes for you, which I'll leave linked underneath the screen in the video description box. So their subscription kits are usually $8.99, and if you use the code Monarch3 you can get $3 off that. Or if you'd rather buy the kits individually, you can do that, but it does cost you a little bit more money. But you can use the discount code crafty15 to get 15% off. So again, I'll leave all of those details below if you want to have a go using their kits too. Just absolutely gorgeous. So one of the things that I always like in my journals is to have plenty of space for writing. I know lots of people doing junk journaling aren't worried about that, but writing's a really important part of journaling for me. So I always make sure I've got little spaces at least to be able to write and tuck things in here. So I'm just going to go through the process that I normally would at some point over the weekend. So I'm going to start off by creating some full pages. So where I've got white on the back of other printables, things like that. So I'm going to have a little look through here and get out some of the pages I'd like to use. So I'm going to start off really simply by just adding a kind of block of colour on the back of any of these that are blank, or backs of scrapbooking cards where I'm not so keen on those. And I'm going to be gluing them onto my page using Pritt Stick. So I'm just going to spend a few minutes getting that done first of all. I always like my pages to be appealing to me. So say anytime I've got blank pages, backgrounds I don't like, I like to cover them up. I just find it encourages me to then use the journal more because it's only full of pages that I then like. So I've got my first 3 pages started now, and one of the things I try to do is look at the other colours that are going to be visible when that journal's open, so that hopefully nothing clashes too much. And this one was already busy. This was some Happy Mail from Mini Smalls Patreon with lots of details, so I went for something a bit more simple there. And so again here I went for one of the more simple pages. They're just absolutely gorgeous papers to work with. And then here, despite the fact this was busy, I thought it would be able to handle really well. God, this beautiful blossom paper, just beautiful. So now I'm going to start adding some writing spots and details to these to get them all ready for using. So I'm going to have a little bit look back through the papers again and find some other pieces that I can add for writing on. So I've got a few different sheets out here. These are absolutely wonderful. They've got some, inside the printables, some little circular envelopes you can make, and these will fit inside those. I think I'm going to use them just as they are for now. These will also be great for writing on, and this one here, and these I thought would be lovely for writing on as well. So again, I'm going to cut a few of these out and start placing them on my page. I just find it makes life so much easier when it's really busy during the week if I've got some pages just all prepared in advance. Because a lot of my journaling is done in the evening, where I'm just writing down a few thoughts on the day, and by the time I sit down in the evening I don't often have lots of time left, or perhaps even the energy to get out all of my supplies and start looking through everything. But I love being able to just take my journal over onto the settee with some pens and maybe just a few extra embellishments and just jot down some thoughts from the day. All of these scraps, by the way, from the papers that I've used, I always keep these. They're perfect for collage, decorating tags, all of those sorts of things. So I'm just going to carry on for a few minutes and get some of these glued down onto my pages. So I've now finished adding those. I just love how beautiful these look. Such a lovely soft and romantic feel. Ready to write on there. For this one, I put this seed order sheet down and cut out one of the little hearts to kind of break that up a little bit. There's just so many different ways to use them. And for this one, I've added that writing spot up there and another one of the elements here. And I want to add just a little bit of stenciling at the bottom. So I'm going to use this Tim Holtz stencil, and I've got some vintage photo distress ink and my ink blending tool. And I think I'm just going to pop that coming up over the tag a little bit. I don't know how well it's going to show on that background. I just like adding little different elements on top. I do it sometimes with acrylic paint as well. Just means you can use the really beautiful printables, but you can also personalise them a little bit by using some of your favourite stencils or stamps and other mediums on top. Okay, I think we're nearly there with that one. I really like how that's looking. It's just added a little bit of something else to that page. Really, really happy with how they're looking. Next, I want to make some tags and tipping cards. Some absolutely beautiful ones here to choose from. So I'm going to glue these onto some white cardstock and again just cut out a few to use in my journals. Okay, so I've now got those mounted on cardstock, and I'm going to use that vintage photo distress ink again around the side of these. I really like doing that with elements all the time anyway, but if they've been mounted on white cardstock, it also helps to disguise if you've got a little bit of that white popping out from behind. Junk journaling is one of my absolutely favourite ways of keeping a journal. It can combine so many different things with a love of papercraft, and you can add little bits of stitching. I've been doing slow stitching recently, or get the sewing machine out. Just so many lovely things you can combine all in one place, and it's just then a really relaxing place for me to be able to sit down and write my thoughts about the day in the evening, which I always like to do. It helps me unwind and get any of those thoughts out of my head that are perhaps circulating, whether it's things I'm worried about, things I'm excited about, ideas that I'm having, anything like that. Okay, I think they're looking great. So for this one, I think I'm going to add that there. That also helps to break up a little bit of the busyness of the page that's underneath and ties that in beautifully there with the other bees. So I'm just going to pop some washi tape on the front and back of there, and then I will have created another really easy writing spot for myself, being able to just write on the back of there. So when it comes to that day, I may well add some other embellishments to the back of that tag. Now I want to find a space for this tag, and I quite like to have this as a little tuck-in spot. So I think maybe over there. But I also quite wanted to add one of these sentiments as well. I think bloom and grow would be lovely to add to that card. I can see me just having so many happy hours playing with this kit. The last kit that I bought from Pink Monarch Prints, I've printed out a couple of times now and just keep finding new ways to use them in my journals. I'm going to have a look through these scraps. So that's going to be perfect. It's more than tall enough that I need for that page. I'm just going to pop some glue around the edge of that page. And then pop this down and then just trim off any of the excess. And I can just pop that straight in there, ready to use. And then I thought to the tuck spot itself, again, it'd be nice to add a little bit more decoration. Once I finish this junk journal, I'll definitely share a flip through, and you might well find that I've added other bits to some of these when I get to them. It's just so nice knowing that you've got them there started, and you can either leave them just as they are when you write on them, or you've got that flexibility to add a little bit more as well if you want to. Okay, so I'm really pleased with how they're looking. Again, another lovely writing spot there, and that journaling card added into. The next thing I want to do is create a little origami envelope, and would it even be one of my junk journals if I didn't have one of these in there? So I'm going to start off with a square piece of paper using this absolutely gorgeous print. Love this one. I'm just going to cut up that line there. I'm going to use a bone folding tool just to get that nice and crisp, and then I'm going to fold it again in the other direction too. And then I'm going to bring this top piece of paper down to the bottom here. And then fold this corner just beyond that centre line. And do the same with the other side. Just try and get them roughly level at the top here. And then this top piece of paper I'm going to fold back on itself so that it's then in line with this crease that we have here. And I'm going to open up this little pocket that we've just created, and then I'm going to fold that flat. So you should then end up with a little diamond or square on the front, and then fold the top of this envelope down. And you'll just be able to pop that inside there. So now I'm going to find the perfect little place for this in my journal. I'm thinking that will look really nice there actually, because it ties in beautifully with that decorated card. So I'm going to glue this down, and I am just going to glue those two flaps down to hold them in place as well. And I want to add some little writing spots to go in there as well. So I'm going to cut one of these out for now and pop that inside. In the printables there are also these other little mini envelopes as well, which I'm definitely going to have a go with at some point. I've already decided that once I finish this junk journal, I'm going to use this printable bundle for making my next one. And I feel like I've done a lot today, but I've actually hardly scratched the surface of what's included in this bundle. So lots more there for me to use, and obviously I can print some out again as well if I want them. So I'm just going to pop that in there again, ready to use once I get to those pages. And I'd really like to add another heart on here. I have to do it slightly to the side, which is fine. And then also add this little remember tag as well. Okay, I think they're going to look really nice together. Oh, this has just been such a lovely way to spend my morning. I really hope you've enjoyed seeing it too. It's just so much fun to me, and it just all looks so beautiful. Everything goes together so well. So I've hardly scratched the surface of this kit. And I also really like these little quote cards here. So I definitely want to find space for one of these. I think that would look beautiful there. That fits really nicely on that tuck spot. When I start out, I don't usually know exactly what I want to do. I just start playing with pieces, adding them, then looking through, seeing what else there is I haven't used, and just finding little places for it. So I've got lots of writing spots now all ready to use in my journal. I'll definitely be adding some more decoration to the back of that one. These beautiful writing spots there as well. And this one, and I'll probably do something to tie these two in together a little bit. I'll possibly use some of these other more neutral printables on top, or maybe even something like this memorandum, just to tone that one down a little bit. I absolutely love it. It's one of my favourite papers, but just to tie these all in together. So I'm going to finish off this little journaling session now by adding some writing on this writing spot. Well, that's my journaling all done for today. So I've hardly made a dent in these beautiful printables. I just can't wait to continue using them in my journals. Just so many wonderful designs here. I will definitely leave the link to Pink Monarch prints down below, along with a reminder of those discount codes. And again, I'm just so grateful for Alina and Anna for contacting me. When I first started journaling, I would have never thought that I'd get the chance to connect with so many wonderful people through my journal pages. I really hope you've enjoyed watching this. I hope you're doing well. I look forward to speaking with you really soon in my next video.